WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Late this afternoon, the National Guard rolls into Island Middle School in Louisville. A specialized team is checking the school out after dozens of students, faculty, and staff begin showing up at Winston Medical Center, all with similar symptoms.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Our Jory Talley spent the day in Louisville as school leaders and other agencies tried to isolate a cause. She's joining us now in the studio with the very latest. Jory.
That's right, guys. I actually reached out to several parents today whose children left school with that unknown sickness, but I had no luck hearing back from them. And as y'all said earlier, over a dozen of students have been treated for similar symptoms after being exposed to something investigators are still trying to figure out.
It all started here in the 8th grade hall at Island Middle School. Several students, similar symptoms. But why?
We have had an exposure situation here where we've had several students, teachers, and even first responders exposed to some undetermined chemical at this time. We have suspicions that it's going to be secondary to vaping products, but as of right now, we do not have confirmation.
Whatever the mysterious substance may be, it's sending dozens to Winston Medical Center.
Over the last 2 days, it looks like we've seen close to 50. We saw about 24 yesterday, and we saw 15 so far today, and we may have seen some prior to yesterday.
Although several students left school sick, class has been in session all week. Louisville School District Superintendent Randy Grierson says that decision came after several agencies made the recommendation.
We isolated that one hall, no one went in it. We redirected classes to where it would not affect any way around that hall, and that was the primary reason for it, considering it was localized and the same students were, in other areas and were not affected at all.
The superintendent says the unknown is the scary part, and that's causing widespread speculation.
Gas leak, carbon monoxide leak, and all those things have been addressed. And I want to listen to every parent that calls. I mean, I've had probably 100 phone calls this morning, and all I can promise them is that we're doing everything in our power to get this, to find out what the catalyst of this is, to make sure our kids have a safe place to come to school.
Grierson says a couple of students who have shown symptoms admitted to taking some kind of vaping substance. However, the district is still taking every safety measure, including bringing in extra resources.
Mississippi Emergency Management Agency is involved as well. Mississippi Department of Health. Atmos Energy helped us out. They tested for carbon monoxide and methane yesterday, and it was all within normal limits. So we're taking a multiple approach to this.
It's treatable from what all we know right now, but I think there's still a lot of unanswered questions. I don't know for sure. I know we've sent lab samples down to UMNC to get some definitive answers on what was in the substance. So until we know that, there can't be any long-term or definitive answer about what's going on.
The superintendent says the 2 students that were taken to UMCC in Jackson tested negative for drugs and had pre-existing conditions.
A high-speed pursuit that started in Millport, Alabama, ends across the state line in Lowndes County this afternoon. The black Ford Mustang, which was running on 3 flat tires, came to a stop near Blaylock and Harrison Roads. Millport Police Chief Charles White says he attempted to pull over the car Brian Peaks was driving for a traffic violation. The pursuit went down Highway 17 to Fernbank Road, reaching speeds over 100 miles per hour. Once across the state line, 2 nearby Lowndes County deputies put spike strips out, and the car hit them. Peaks trying to run from law enforcement on Harrison Road, but was quickly arrested. Peaks will be charged with eluding, reckless endangerment, and switch tag, along with other minor charges. Lowndes County Sheriff Mike Arledge says Peaks faces felony fleeing and eluding charges in Mississippi.
Investigators with the State Fire Marshal's office are collecting evidence and trying to find out what sparked a blaze that leveled part of the Washington furniture plant in Pontotoc. Initially, the fire was contained to the plant's warehouse, but it did spread throughout the production line and administrative offices. Investigators have not ruled out anything and should have a preliminary report in the coming days.
Although the production lines were destroyed, employees at Washington Furniture will not miss a paycheck.
Our Allie Martin tells us how the company plans to take care of its employees and also have furniture rolling out in a few weeks.
as smoldering debris was being sorted and cleared. Washington Furniture executives were making sure employees knew they would not miss a paycheck. That's because plans are to open production lines in another building on site.
Our goal is October 19th. I know that we have a lot going on between now and then, but the way that the contractors in our community have stepped up, we feel like we can execute October 19th as our back up and running date.
6 production lines are scheduled to go in this building. That will happen as crews clean up from the massive fire that leveled the main building and destroyed millions of dollars in inventory.
We're going to pull out of this, and that we're all going to support each other and be successful.
Long-range plans call for Washington Furniture to rebuild on this site. Company officials say they have no plans to abandon the community that has stood with the furniture plant for decades.
It's been a total community effort with the fire department, the police department, our local businesses. They've supported us 100% with the community and with our employees and everything that we have going on. We're going to rebuild, and we're going to be stronger and better than ever.
Washington Furniture employs more than 400 people at its Pontotoc location. Allie Martin, WCBI News.
And earlier this year, Washington Furniture was bought by Behold Home of Smithville. Time to get a first look at our forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Hey, Keith.
Hey, Andrea, right now it looks a lot worse than it actually is in downtown Columbus. We have the Art Walk about ready to get underway. Actually, it is underway right now. Gloomy conditions, but the showers just off to the southeast, I think, will be rain-free for that, but still a little bit of rain across our region right now. Extensive cloud cover, and that will be the story for the rest of this evening and tonight. Also some patchy, dense fog, too. We have a wide array of temperatures, mid-70s here in Columbus, only mid to low 60s back to the northwest. Lows tonight down into the low 60s. Areas of fog certainly possible, and there you have it. Some spots may get down into the upper 50s. Your weekend forecast in just a few minutes.
Over the past year, bridge closures have become increasingly common across the state.
That's for sure, but Clay County may be bucking that trend, at least for now. Our Victoria Bailey spent the day there looking at some bridge openings. She joins us in the studio with more. Victoria.
That's right, Joey and Andrea. Many would argue that the source of a lot of issues, especially for those living in the county, is not being able to get from point A to point B. And it's not because they don't have the transportation.
The state inspector came right on and he passed the bridge and told us we could reopen the road.
Good news for Clay County residents as 2 of the 4 closed bridges are back open. 3 of the closures were in District 4.
If we hadn't built a bypass, well, these people couldn't get out. And out on that area, there's a lot of elder people live over there in that community. So we put a bypass in.
District 4 Supervisor Shelton Dean says it took a lot of hard work from everyone to get things back in motion.
Through Tennessee River Valley Water Management District, we got them to help us with some PLN money to come back and replace the bridge.
A bridge that cost a total of $50,000 to replace. Dean and other Southern County representatives also took their needs to Washington.
They gave us some material and what have you that we will be able to contact these people and have a direct funding from D.C. to your counties and your cities where we live at.
And residents say they are so thankful for the help.
It's good. It saves a whole lot of time because you have to go all the way around 45 just to get here. And I go to church out here at Lake Grove, and it's a lifesaver. You know, it saves a whole lot of time.
That's just a great inconvenience, but this bridge is a plus to the county.
Remaining bridges that are closed in the county are awaiting federal funding.
Downtown Columbus is turning into one big art gallery this evening.
When we come back, we check in with Scott Martin, who is taking in all the sights.
Welcome back. Downtown Columbus is a little busier than normal tonight.
Yes, the downtown art walk is going on. You might say it's drawing art lovers from all around the area to downtown. Our Scott Martin joins us live with a look at what's on display. Scott?
Yeah, Joey and Andrea, the downtown art walk is officially underway. Tables are set up all around downtown here in Columbus. And something else that's pretty cool, if you'll walk with me this way here, there is a little band that is over to the side there, and they were actually supposed to play in South Carolina, but due to Hurricane Florence, they were unable to perform. So they're here at the Downtown Art Walk performing. So come on out. It's nice and cool out here. Check out some local art. Bring your pocketbooks in case you want something new to put up on your mantle. This will last until 7:30 p.m. tonight here in downtown Columbus. Again, it's the Downtown Art Walk. Check out the local stores and everything. For now, reporting live in downtown Columbus, Scott Martin, WCBI News.
Take a look at this. A picture is worth 1,000 words. This picture of the members of the 2nd Battalion, 114th Field Artillery Regiment really does say it all. Look at these smiling faces after they got care packages from home. The Choctaw Chamber of Commerce, National Guard Committee, and students in the Choctaw School District put these packages together. These soldiers are in Kuwait. Now, this is video of the soldiers during their send-off. You can see their communities turned out to show their support. They have been overseas since March.
Right now we are overcast in West Alabama at Durham's Pharmacy in Vernon. For tomorrow, your Friday, some morning clouds and some fog, then some more afternoon sunshine, back up to around 80. Your full forecast is next.
Your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
6:16 here in downtown Columbus. Folks downtown for the art walk. Overcast conditions. It looks threatening. I don't think it's going to rain. Maybe a little bit of mist here, but the showers now pulling away. One little downpour there in Pickens County approaching Carrollton. That's just about it at this point. The heavy rain we had yesterday and even earlier this morning has shifted to the northeast and to our east and southeast. An area of high pressure is coming on in that will gradually dry things out here, but right now we're still relatively humid, and that could give rise to that patchy fog tonight. For tomorrow afternoon, the better rain chances to our south, closer to the Gulf Coast, so that bodes well for high school football tomorrow as we get into your Saturday. Again, better rain chances to our south. There could be a few showers or storms down there for the LSU Ole Miss game there Saturday evening, but the Bama game and the MSU game should be okay on Saturday here. And for Sunday, too, I think we're dry. Better odds of rain to our south. So that's a quick look at the weekend. Here's how it looked today with our Alpha Insurance time lapse in downtown Louisville, Mississippi, the heart of Winston County. You can see some threatening skies after some of that rain we had around here this morning. A mix of clouds and sun across our region this afternoon. And we have temperatures that are all over the place right now. Oxford 63 for you in Tupelo 65. Still holding on to 74 in Columbus, 79 or so to the southeast of Columbus. That front is slowly moving to the south. The humidity is pretty high here. All of that lingering moisture we had, the rain we had over the last 2 days, that's still around. And we do have some low visibility that is not really an issue yet. A little bit lower in Oxford, yes, but that will probably fall apart a little bit later on tonight. So do watch out for some areas of dense fog. Could be rather dense in some locations here. Lows down into the low 60s or maybe even the upper 50s. So I do envision a fairly cloudy start to our Friday. Gloomy at 7 o'clock for the commute, but by the afternoon we should be back into the sunshine or at least partly cloudy skies, upper 70s to low 80s around here. Here's our city by city forecast. You can see we're headed up towards about 80 degrees. And that's the way it's looking for tomorrow. And a quick look at high school football for tomorrow evening. At 7 o'clock, 72 falling through the 60s, so probably jacket weather tomorrow as we get into our Friday evening. Your weekend forecast: 83 Saturday, 85 Sunday. Our next best chance for some showers and storms Monday and Tuesday, but we stay warm next week.
Ole Miss is getting ready to head to Death Valley for the first time since 2016. The Rebels' expectations in Baton Rouge coming up next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Well, the Ole Miss Rebels homestand finally comes to a close this week as it prepares to hit the road for the first time since week 1. And this road test is not going to be an easy one either. Ole Miss will travel to Death Valley as they play the number 5 ranked LSU Tigers. And there are plenty of guys on this roster who have yet to have their own Death Valley experience. The last time the Rebels traveled to Baton Rouge was just 2 seasons ago, with LSU ranked at 23. But Ole Miss knows this has been referred to as the most feared road game in the country for a good reason.
I think some of them have some experience, but some of them don't. But I think maybe going on the road and playing in Houston with this team certainly should help. It's going to be much. It's going to be much louder, so we're going to have to be able to deal with the crowd noise. And there's a lot of things going on the road, but I think you just got to embrace it. It's going to be a great atmosphere and enjoy it.
I'm excited. It's my first time playing at LSU in front of that crowd, and I heard a lot of things, and my mindset going into that game is just to stay focused and just to block out the noise and just worry about our game and just take it one play at a time and don't let the noise bother me.
Now it's time to honor those who do the dirty work on the power lines and in the trenches. It's our Lineman of the Week.
New Albany Lineman of the Week is brought to you by New Albany Light, Gas, and Water.
It's actually supposed to be our Myrtle Lineman of the Week, and it's going to be Jonathan Kent, who has 11 years of service with New Albany Light, Gas, and Water. Like I said that, or it's actually New Albany, my bad. The Myrtle Hawks getting a big win last week in Boonville against Thrasher. That final was 54-22. They had 8 rushing touchdowns alone from that game, 5 of those from A.I. Nugent, and the other 3 from Ethan Hunt. Also, 6 sacks in 3 games this season from the Myrtle Hawks. Next up, Myrtle keeps it at home against Hickory Flat tomorrow night.
Tonight's Lineman of the Week is brought to you by the City of Okolona Electric Department.
Another lineman of the week with Okolona is Timmy Camp. Timmy has 26 years of service with the City of Okolona Electric Department. Another big win for the Chieftains this past week, going 5-1 on the season right now. That win was 52-14 over Faulkner last week. They had 5 rushing touchdowns. A lot of players involved in those. 2 from Deontay Hampton alone. They also have 6 sacks so far on the season, so doing plenty of good things on defense over in Okolona. Their next game tomorrow is going to be away at Smithville, so expect to see plenty of more good things from the Chieftains. In terms of some football, it's Thursday, which means that we're going to have plenty of it come these next few days. Tonight, we'll have plenty of JUCO, the number 1 EMCC taking on East Central tonight. Will they be able to continue and go undefeated? You'll have to stay tuned to find out. We'll have the scores for you later. Also, Hines is going to be facing off against Pearl River tonight. That's going to be another matchup there. Then we have Holmes versus NMCC going on as well. NMCC coming off of a nice win last week, and then ICC also taking on NEMCC later. We'll have those highlights and scores for you coming up later tonight at 10. But that's it for sports. We'll have your last look after the break.
We'd like to present the check in the amount of $1,500 to the NICU.
Hundreds of pre-K students at Tupelo's Early Childhood Education Center have been collecting loose change for a special project.
The youngsters brought in $1,500 and a big check was given to the neonatal intensive care unit during an assembly. 2 teachers helped organize the fundraiser and both have NICU babies.
We try to do fundraisers throughout the year or things to give back to the community or other places, and we thought this would be a great way to give back to something that was local.
And I remember Holly saying when I was in the hospital, she said, you know, this is a club that no one ever wants to join, but when you do, you wouldn't trade it for the world. And we just love our NICU and all the doctors and nurses, and we're just so proud of our students.
And some former NICU babies were, who are now students at ECEC were able to present the check.
It's a lot of money for spare change.
I know,
Yes,
right?
That's really cool. Do I have that? It's sitting on my couch? No?
You may. You may.
In about 10 years, maybe. All right, weather-wise, we are looking pretty good tomorrow. The weekend's a little bit warmer, a little bit brighter. Football, high school, college, great this weekend.
That is a really good looking forward.
No, we've improved things.
Absolutely. Give us a chance to dry out.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks so much, Keith. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Have a great night.